My brother! What's up, big dog?
How's it going, David? Good morning.
I'm so
How
glad
are
that you're
you?
on the show right now. This has been like the show that I have been bragging about you without talking about who you were for probably the last, I don't know, when did you tell me that you were thinking about moving over? What, 2 weeks ago?
Oh yeah, yeah, probably going on 3 weeks now, right?
3 weeks,
Pretty
yeah.
close.
When,
Because
when did you put in that application?
probably like 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago. Yeah,
That's about how long it took for that to process for you to make that move to eXp. And I'm telling people, there's a lot of people in the pipeline right now that there's another 11 agents right now that are in the pipeline transferring to eXp that I can't even announce. You just did it first, bro.
yeah. Well, I had I, I had a meeting with my broker. It was a
Yeah,
Friday. We went out to lunch,
yeah,
and I explained to him, about how him not needing that office, that
yeah,
brick and mortar, you
sure,
know, and he agreed. He agreed, and explained to him about Blockbuster Video, and
yeah,
now we're Netflix and Amazon, and
sure,
I want to be on that edge because I've always felt like I've been a step behind on what I've needed to do.
sure.
So when I saw this program, and I had no idea who EXP was, I just jumped on one morning. You were live, and then right away I started, you know, checking out who they were, and trust me, I did my homework on them,
And
and
you know
then
what's funny is we were going to talk about this last. We were going to go because these are we want to talk about being a man. We want to talk about coaching, like mentorship, right? And
correct,
all these really important things because you and I jive on a lot of different things, brother. And then we were
we
going to
do.
have with EXP, but we started transitioning in right away. So why don't we go ahead and lead it off with that? So you said that you saw my live video, and then what happened? What did you hear?
Uh, well, as you know, I saw your live video, and then right away I messaged you. I said, "What is this all about?"
Yeah,
And then I started watching YouTube videos. I watched, I don't know, 20 YouTube videos on EXP, and
yeah,
there's some guys that say why not to join EXP,
yeah,
but I'm telling you, from a guy who it was about to open up his own shop, you
hmm,
know, possibly brick and mortar,
yep.
this decided to look at this and say, this makes way more sense,
And
and I could help a lot more people.
And that's what you and I talked about, brother. Like we ended up
Right.
talking and we had this long conversation and I haven't been answering a lot of the phone calls. I haven't been talking to a lot of people, but you and I, we worked together in the past. And
Right.
when your phone call came in, coach to coach, man to man, I took it and I was
Right.
just like, hey, what's up, brother? And you told me all these reasons and you said, I can help a lot more people through EXP throughout the country. I don't have to be held down to just this one shop.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
And that was the big aha moment for me. I was like, oh, okay. Well, I could help. I could name a dozen agents I could help. Right away, my brother jumped on. He's in
Yeah.
Orange County with
Yep.
EHM Real Estate, and he's about to join.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got pretty big circle. He works for the city of Anaheim,
Yeah.
and he's in the permit department.
Mm-hmm.
So he comes across a lot of top producers over there in that area, and they trust him.
Yeah.
So it was just to be honest with you, it was a no brainer to come over to EXP, and I'm just waiting for everything to be final. I'm waiting for the email back from them to make everything final,
Yeah. It's a
and
process. You know what I mean? A lot of
it,
people they want to click the EXP button, join EXP, and then they want to be in overnight. And it's one of those things where it's like I keep telling people, don't announce anything yet. Just relax. Just relax. Take a deep breath. Wait for
it,
everything to be finalized, and then hit the ground running.
life is a process. So
That's,
you know, you and I talked a little bit about our families, and I coach football, not only youth football, but I coach on the adult level, semi-pro
yeah.
football. I'm the head coach of Southern California Warriors out of we're out of Marietta, Menifee area.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
brother,
so
that's one of the first times that you and I talk to each other because I'm a grown man, but I still participate and play. I play
right,
adult basketball. I played in the All-Star game at the Lakers, the Clippers Stadium. Staples Center. A
Right.
couple of weeks ago, I sent you a message at one point. I was like, "Hey man, I'm thinking about playing adult football," and you were like, "Hey man, come on down, try out whenever you want to do it." But then I
Correct.
punked out. I didn't do it.
Well, it's I did it because my son was playing his first year tackle,
Yeah,
and this came up, and he's like, "Dad, you can't play football." And so I'm 48 years old,
yeah,
and I played when I was 42, 43, 44. That was I didn't get to play college football. So here I am playing against these 20-year-olds,
yes,
and I'm the starting center.
in the
And
trenches, brother.
I had never played. Yeah, I'm a pretty big guy, so I'd never played, you know, uh, center before. I've always played defense, outside linebacker. I played middle linebacker. So it it was 3 fun years. Got to meet a lot of good people, but I learned a lot about myself too.
Yes,
Because that was my college football. I didn't play right out of high school, so
yeah,
I learned about just what it is to work hard,
yeah.
and because our team wasn't that great, but we
Mhm.
had a lot of guys that stuck together, and we always, no matter what, we never forfeited a game. We always brought it hard,
It's
and
that
people know that about us.
synergy, brother. It's that every man in the trenches together. And it's
Correct.
something that a lot of men are craving right now is that sort of, and I think really people in general. That's why tribe is resonating with so many people. That's why this whole idea of like a group of camaraderie, team, squad, etc. All these different buzzwords, but for guys like you and me, it's not a buzzword. It's the truth. We know what it means to be part of a team.
Correct. And I ran a team myself for a little while. I was with Keller Williams,
Yeah,
down out of Temecula, and I'll tell you is, for me, running a team is not for me, because
yeah,
people are, they're a little needy, and they always they drain you,
yeah,
and then you start doing things, and the market center starts taking away from your time.
yes.
And for me, it just, uh, yes, the productivity was there,
Mhm.
but I I was just working hours and hours and hours and hours, and I wasn't doing what I love. That's what I changed.
There we go. And this is like. I was so excited when you brought this up during our little pre-interview. Uh, Doing what you love, and why EXP makes that possible, and not only why EXP makes that possible in a professional atmosphere, but also for you on an individual level as well. It's so much fun when you follow your passion and when you follow your design. What is doing what you love? What are you doing for young men on a professional level through semi-pro, etc.? And what are you doing and have done throughout real estate through your long career, brother? Talk to me about you.
Well,
Talk to me about
I mean,
coach.
here's the thing. I had a vision when I'm part owner of this Southern California Warrior team.
Yeah.
Okay, we had, my vision for it was to lead young men 18 and up.
Mhm.
Some are a little older,
Yeah.
and lead them to normal life.
Yeah.
Some of them don't have jobs.
Yeah.
Some of them, a lot of them are, renting. We've led a couple of our players into colleges, full
Yeah.
ride scholarship with our film. And that's going to get them a future life.
Wait,
You know,
and not just did you get them into colleges, you got them into colleges with full ride.
full ride scholarship based on our film. So
And talk to people really quick. What do you mean by your film?
well, we shoot film at every one of our games, and
Yep.
we have an account called Huddle,
Yeah.
and then it highlights each player.
Yep.
So if let's just say myself, Marco Flores, center, it'll show all my highlights on each play,
Yeah.
and then you turn that film into scouts,
Yeah.
or if someone calls on that player,
Oh. Yeah.
it could, yeah, it could mean a possible scholarship, or even a half scholarship is good. So I mean, that's how we're
That
changing.
next level. Like even if they didn't get a scholarship at all, but they transitioned from being a young man into being a man, and they learned some life skills from a good dude.
Right.
That's not a bad day, brother.
Correct. And this is not only that, and just to jump in, one of my players graduated from Great Oak High School. I've known him since he was 18, and now he's 26 years old. I just sold him his first house last year, and he had $36,000 in equity when he took the keys.
And
so
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the thing is like, and so really quick, my sister says, so happy you're with eXp, Marco. Took me 2 weeks to end process. Just got my email practice yesterday afternoon. Very excited to grow together. Go, coach, go. And that's one of the things that you and I keep talking about. We say what we want to do is we want to, how do I hide that? We want to have the opportunity to grow this with several other people. We're looking to build a synergy. We're looking to build that environment because young men need mentorship. Young women need mentorship. I was not a guy who had my dad around, so I had great mentors. I had great teachers.
Right.
I had great coaches. I had great friends of my mom that would come around. And so what you and I are able to do is we're able to help people, and this is the truth, help people throughout the country, coach people throughout the country, mentor them, provide them this warm blanket of other people that are incentivized in their growth. There's not a loss here.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're right about that because they, some of them didn't have father figures. This is my 4th year as a head coach, so I've come across a lot. We had 66 guys in our camp last season. 66 guys. Of the 66 guys, we keep 59 on the final roster, just like a pro roster. We're NFL rules, and a lot of them need father figures. So myself and my coaching staff, we actually do have a staff. We have a general manager, we have a recruiter, we have it's fully organized. You guys all have to. If you haven't gone to a semi-pro football game, you're missing out because you're going to see some great hitting.
Where can we go see? Where can we see your team?
Well, last year we played at Linfield Christian High School, right behind Temecula Valley. That was our home field. And then this year we're most likely going to play out of Heritage High School in Menifee,
which is huge. That's a great school. When are tryouts?
Tryouts are actually happening this Saturday.
Oh no! Super missed it again.
Come by, man. And I remember when you emailed me.
Yeah.
And you said you didn't email me. You messaged me on Facebook, but you said I just got to go buy my cleats and then I'll be at practice. Yeah. And it was like, okay, come on by, brother. I
ended up playing basketball, and the basketball has been fun and whatnot. But quite honestly, I wouldn't mind getting in a 3-point stance and crushing some skulls, man. I played football in high school. There's nothing to write home about, but I had fun. Rosie says, Marco, you are amazing. What a legacy that you're building. And what's so cool is Rosie's actually she's in our upline. So
you hear that plane flying?
Incentivizing your growth.
Let's wait for the plane. I know you're right by. You're close.
About having people like Rosie around is that not only am I incentivized to help you out, David Golden in Vegas is incentivized to help you out. Rosie Rodriguez is incentivized. Rick Giha, Gene Frederick, all these different people are incentivized in creating a culture of people that all want to help each other out.
Let me tell you one thing about David Golden. Him and I have been on the phone numerous times.
Yes.
And he's an amazing. I can't wait to physically meet him. I've never met him, but he's an amazing teacher. Yeah. And I've listened to him many, many, many times on the phone. We actually talked to some pretty big hitters the last couple weeks, we feed off each other really well, and I can't wait to meet him.
So I've got 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll call it. So far with your experience, a lot of people keep saying, I'm worried that the help isn't going to be there. You know what I mean? But I keep telling people I have the right people around. What's been your experience in working with David Golden so far, having not even completely transitioned over? Has he been willing to help you out? What has he been doing with you? And what have you guys been able to accomplish together?
Well, David Golden is he's the teachers of teacher.
Yeah.
He's a mentor. He's everything you want on your team. Believe me when I say that. He's like, let's go get him.
Yeah.
So I personally would probably, question, being on EXP if we didn't have our I'm going to say upline that is
Yeah.
so powerful, because
Yeah.
I truly believe that our upline is going to blow this whole Southern California region up. And I keep telling people, I have a player that played for me last year. He's got a real estate team out of Chino Hills.
Yeah.
And I talked to him last night, and he said, he's like, give me more info, coach, because he obviously I was his coach, and he trusts me. So I told him, I said, get in before everyone else does.
Yeah.
It's so small right now that we know the value of it. It's like when Keller Williams first started.
Yeah.
That's what this company is like. So if you don't get in, you're gonna miss the boat.
Yes, and you and I, we actually had this conversation because you and I have talked about, being shy on the trigger finger in the past, and maybe not being, missing out on some opportunities, maybe not to jump. And you talked about maybe missing out on some REO possibilities because, dude, you didn't just show up yesterday. You've been in this business for a long time, and you know the history of it. You survived the crash. You've been a part of it back in the uprise. You never went away. You're one of those few people that stayed the course, and you learned a lot. And what you just said is, I'm not going to miss out on an opportunity again.
And going back to that, there was a point where we had a company called Short Sale Express. We used to, myself and a couple partners, we had 100 short sales going at one time.
Yeah.
And we used to get them approved for agents. We charge a flat fee of $1,000, and they were on board just like that. But we got to a point where they weren't approving short sales, so we had to move on to something else.
That's right.
My team, when I first started in the first year in the business, I sold 54 homes and I did 24.5 million in sales. That was my first year in the business. From then, I built the team with Keller Williams and with great people there. Great people. But I'm telling you, I don't want to do the team thing anymore. Yeah. I'm like you. I don't want to sell real estate. I want to get great people to come on board to this company.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, man. Like, it's all
about. I want to coach football. That's what I want to do.
That's right. You want to coach football. I want to play music. We both want to raise our kids. We want to be able to have that diversification that goes along with something like this so that we're incentivized in the overall growth. Now, a guy like you kicked out like I could in your first year. You sold 54 homes. You kicked my butt in your first year. I had a heck of a first year. I made over $100,000. I can't imagine that you didn't make over $100,000 in your first year. Guys we can make $1 gazillion in the trenches right now, but we don't want to live there. Why?
No.
Why do you not want to run a team, man?
It's called freedom. Doing what it's called not enough time.
Yeah.
Okay. Things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because the time goes by so fast, you only have so much time to do it. So what am I going to enjoy my time with? I want to enjoy my time with my family and my friends and coach. So.
Yeah. And that's
what I want to do.
For guys like us, the thing is people, they learn how to fish, they become wealthy, they take off, and then they go and they do whatever elsewhere. But with guys like you, you're like, listen, I'm loyal. I've been with this company for a long time, and I'm like, I know, man. I know what it's like to freaking bleed freaking scarlet and gold. I know what it's like to freaking want to get after it. I know what it's like to be a part of a tribe. But the thing is we're reaching a point in our lives where we're saying, you know what? Business isn't where I want to spend my 60 hours a week. I want to do 20 hours of hardcore grinding, and then I want to be able to spend that extra 20 waking hours of life either working on other businesses, diversifying, or God forbid, mentoring young men and women. Right.
And we'll get into this more in detail.
Yeah.
Because I'm about to cut out.
Yes.
And I know we wanted to keep it short and sweet this morning, but let's we talked about, let's do what we're going to do and kick butt, man. I'm excited. Thank you for putting this out there. And I know we're going to be throwing a lot of retirement parties. That's all I got to say.
I love that. This is the last question that I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to let you go, because what we're going to do is we're going to do a follow-on. We're going to do a full episode of It's About More Than Real Estate with Marcos. Marco Flores, we're going to learn his history. We're going to learn about what he's doing, how he's mentoring young men. But this is the last thing that I'm going to ask.
Yes, sir.
Constantly look at our children, and we look them in the eyes and we say, what do you want to do when you get older? And then we look at some point along the way, whether they're teenagers or young adults, we tell them to stop dreaming and to start being realistic. When do we start telling people, when should somebody stop dreaming?
You know, I think dreaming is good. You know, you got to keep dreaming always, you know, and just chase that dream. But, you know, when things aren't happening, you got to just look at yourself and say, hey, you know, it's time to get real. I ask my players all the time. I say, hey, how many of you guys think you're going to make it to the NFL? And most of them are over 24 years old.
Yeah.
If someone raised, you know, I just tell them, I said, if you haven't been called now or been in camp or tried out or been on a practice squad, you're not going to make it.
Yeah.
I'm being realistic and I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, there's not a lot of us that are out bagging groceries at 28, 29 years old, and then you make the transition in. It looks like Marco just got cut out there. So anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and end it here. And it was a great interview with Marco. He made a big move to eXp. I'm telling you guys that a lot of people in the Temecula Valley right now are waiting to be processed in, whether they're joining up through somebody else or joining up through me. I don't know everyone else in the Temecula Valley that is in the area that you have an option. But the thing is you want to look at the upline. You want to look at who is going to be invested in my success and who above them is going to be invested in my success. Make the right choice for you. Don't do things out of spite. Think about yourself. Think about your family. Think about economically what you want to do. And then at the end of the day, read The New Rich. If you have not read The New Rich yet, if you haven't learned about time blocking, if you haven't learned about following your passions yet, take some time to study yourself, take some time to read, and invest a little bit of time in you. It's not for all of us, just for the really awesome people. eXp, David Serpa. Appreciate you guys watching again. I'll talk to you soon.